Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Princess of Pentacles. You're involved with something where you are trying to bring out its natural beauty. You know, you're trying to sort of unleash something's potential. You're trying to kind of unlock the energy that's stored up inside of this. This is something that you're investing in, and you're hoping that it's going to be transformed into something that will provide for you, right? The way we may invest in a home, you know, trying to renovate the home, beautify the home, fix things. I like the home improvement stuff, you know. Or the way that we might be investing in our business, trying to grow the business so that it can provide for us more too. Investing in our land, in our crops, you know. We're trying to sow the seeds that are then going to blossom and grow and provide us for abundance, with abundance. The Princess of Pentacles is just that very thing. This is, on the surface, looks cold, dark, sterile, barren, right? There's no leaves on the trees. There's no animals around. There's no abundance here, right? It's kind of stark. But we know that spring is just about to come. This is that card of the dead of winter, right? We know that it's going to give way to light and life and abundance. We just gotta endure the sort of the harsh winter, and then we will enjoy spring. Yeah. So let's see kind of what you're doing with this thing, what it might be, and what sort of abundance it is going to bring you. All right. It is the Princess of Pentacles that sort of transforms into the Empress card, you know? Well, there we have a Queen of Pentacles, a Nine of Wands, a Prince of Pentacles. We almost got the whole family here. A Three of Cups, that is the card of abundance. And a Five of, a lot of earth energy here. We know the struggle. We know what it's really going to be. I think this is something that you've done this many times. Maybe you're someone that like upcycles furniture, or you flip houses, or you buy something, you fix it up, and then you sell it, you know? This could be really the process of you creating your art, whatever that may be for you, all right? But I feel that it really, it's a beautiful picture. And that Three of Cups at the top shows that it's really about the process for you. That this really is something that you enjoy, this process here. You enjoy it. Yeah, you have to be strong. You really have to put in the work. It's not an easy thing, but I feel like it's very much worth it. Yeah. Now, Scorpio, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Let's put the rest of our cards on the table. Path of the Serpent, 10 of Pentacles. Well, see, that makes it worth it too, right? Yeah, that helps for sure. We have a Three of Pentacles, a lot of earth energy today. The Four of Cups and the Seven of Cups. The Four of Cups is the feeling that we maybe did not take a big enough risk, right? And we didn't quite get that much satisfaction. We didn't invest enough, therefore we didn't get that much out of it, right? Whereas the Seven is kind of saying that, you know, we overshot the mark a little bit. That instead of hitting that kind of bullseye, right, which would be kind of like a 6, right? And it's interesting now we've got 3s, we've got 4s, we got 5s, We can make a 6, which is what we want to make, right? And we've got 7. We don't have an 8. We've got a 9 and a 10, though. So that's very interesting to me, because it shows that this is a process that you're familiar with, that you've done this before, right? Well, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor, infinite, and unknown. We're going to set it down right here. And we'll put Belsnickel right on top. Cheer or fear. Belsnickel is here. Okay, now we're not going to look at that card till the end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. All right, let's look around the room. Interesting thing here is a complete lack of major arcana. You know, usually in the readings we get at least one major arcana card, which gives us a kind of spiritual perspective, shows us where some of our spiritual work may need to be focused, you know. Because the major arcana shows us forces that are sort of beyond our control, but also shows us where our spiritual work needs to be. What do we need to do on the spiritual plane? Well, we don't see anything of that nature here. Doesn't mean that spirit's not in the room. No, it means that spirit has sort of withdrawn into the table as just the support system. That spirit's not trying to flash a big red light in your face saying, hey, look over here, you know. No, it's saying you got this. It's saying you're in the flow. You know what you're doing. You don't need any divine intervention. You are the divine intervention, you know. So spirit is acting as the support. Spirit is the table. Okay. And, well, we'll see. Maybe the mystery card will provide us a little something extra. But I think this is going to be a really, really fantastic week for you. Okay. I really do. Because look at all this. You know, we have a little bit of fire. And it's the best fire. It's the fire of strength. Saying I can endure. I'm part of the process. I know how to continue my strength. Right? I know how to operate at full capacity. You know, for as long as I need to. Which of course is knowing how to rest, how to take care of yourself, right? How to understand the little lunar connection at the bottom, how to know what your needs are. You know, it's easy to just floor the accelerator, right? But you got to know how to take care of the car too, so that it can provide your transportation for a long time. Yeah. So this is strength, and strength is not just power. Strength is controlled power. Real strength is willpower. And that's what willpower is. Our ability to control our strength, to sustain it. Okay, so we know how to rest, we know how to recuperate in order to, you know, always be functioning at our highest level. Yeah. And I think that's very important for you. I think we could look at these cards a few different ways. But anyway, we've got fire, we've got water, water, water. Don't have any air cards. We got earth, 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 earth. A lot of earth energy. And to me, the earth energy is always health and wealth, fitness and finances. Okay? So I think that we're looking at this from a financial perspective, and we're thinking, yeah, this is something that involves the work that you do every day. Maybe it's not your job. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're in school, whatever. This could be your studies. This could be your gardening, right? It's work. It's whatever you're burning calories doing every day. And I think it's something that is challenging to you. I think it's something that really keeps you engaged. I think it's something that pays the bills. I think it's something that you really enjoy doing, though. And it feels like it's in some way about changing or altering something or fixing something or upcycling or renovating or refurbishing. Yeah. And I think that you find a deep satisfaction in that process, okay? With the Cups energy at the end there, the 7 of Cups, it feels like you need to know, and I think this is part of the, if there is any kind of, because it's easy to just get into this cycle of things. I fix up one car and then I sell it, or maybe you're a mechanic, I don't know. I repair something and then I move on. I repair something and it goes. And it becomes routine. It becomes an 8. It becomes a loop. It becomes a Groundhog's Day. It's like, oh, here's another car. I fix it and there it goes. It becomes an 8. And you know what? That's the card we don't have here, is the 8. The routine, the monotony, the looping back in on itself kind of thing, right? Because that would show that there's a lack of progress somewhere, that there's something we're missing, and we're not growing or evolving in our work. It's become kind of stagnant. It's become just routine. And I think that is death, right? And so that's probably why the 4 is in the position of what you don't want, because the 4 is kind of a stagnation, right? It's a feeling like this isn't doing anything anymore. I'm not growing. So what we see through every cycle here, we see that you're learning a little bit more. You're gaining in knowledge. You're gaining in experience. You're figuring new little things out. Let's say it is automotive repair, right? Just for the heck of it. Every time you do a repair on a vehicle, you're learning a little bit more about that vehicle. You're learning a little bit more about that system, the engine system, the transmission, electrical system, the cooling system, whatever else, right? And so you're always like growing and evolving and getting better and improving and expanding your experience, expanding your awareness. There's progress, there's movement there. It's not just the looping back in on itself like a figure 8. It's not just the same old, same old, same old, right? So every cycle you go through, you're learning a little bit more at one place or another. It's getting a little bit more detailed, a little bit more knowledge, experience, wisdom. That's part of our 3 of Pentacles in the environment. Okay? And I think that's very important for you. In the same way that, if we were to just have this as a routine, as a habit, we would stagnate and we would lose 7 of Cups. We would feel that we've lost interest in it. It's no longer bringing us joy and abundance. It's bringing us misery. It just feels like, oh God, I got to wake up and do it again. Oh geez. Okay. So I think this is wonderful because it keeps you learning and growing and evolving. It's not just routine. Yeah. So anyway, the princess, of course, is whatever this thing is that you're trying to restore or build up or transform into its perfect version, right? You're trying to unleash all the potential that this has stored up inside under the snow, right? And the Queen of Pentacles then becomes the reflection on this process for you. If we're looking at the process, it is the prince putting in the work on this thing, and, building something up, showing up every day, and causing a change in this thing. You're making a difference in this, and eventually, of course, you're perfecting it. And whether this is a piece of art or it's that automotive repair, right? You're bringing it from, let's say, from the Princess of Pentacles phase to the completion or the perfection of it in the 10 of Pentacles. So this is kind of the process. You're showing up at work, and you're working on that thing, right? This is the builder. This is the one who shows up every day. This is you doing the work, and this is what you're doing the work upon, all right? And then the Queen of Pentacles, not really doing any work, right? Kind of sitting there supervising. It's kind of the manager, right? The one that's looking over everything and trying to understand, trying to think of, almost look a little bit objectively at the process and learn from the experience to understand. It's a water of earth. It's trying to find the underlying wisdom, understanding, but also the underlying beauty of it all. Maybe this is literally automotive repair. You're finding something so intensely deep and beautiful and meaningful in that. It's a spiritual experience. Yeah. But the queens always look at the past. Yeah. And we're trying to learn from the last cycle that we were on. What can I do differently this time? I don't want it's kind of the feeling that we're only as good as our last meal. You're only as good as the last engine you repaired, So it's kind of like, okay, what did I do last time? Okay, now what can I do differently this time? How can I learn from that one? What mistakes did I make? And now I'm starting to think of Tom Colicchio, right? Top Chef. I heard he's a fan of the show anyway. But he said something really, he says this every season really, but it's very profound to me. Because he says once we get to the last few episodes of the show, it really becomes difficult to judge the food that the contestants are putting out. Because they're all world-class, perfect dishes. But as the judge, let's say, maybe this is Padma too, and Tom together, no matter what quality or caliber the dishes that are coming out, they're perfect dishes. But as the judge, they have to find something to criticize about it. It's their job, And that's what the Queen of Pentacles does. Tries to look at the past, no matter how perfect it seems. And it may be just a stunning dish, a perfect car, one after another. You got to find something to talk about. You got to find some way to say, how could it have been a little bit better or different or whatever? And it may not even be a technical improvement, but it may be aesthetically. Maybe next time I'm going to use a little less blue, right? Or a little bit more fire engine red or something, or whatever your preference. So it's kind of the way we have to critique our own work, and it doesn't mean that we think we failed. It doesn't mean that, that was a disaster. No, it just means when you've got all perfect dishes, there has to be some method of distinguishing between them so we don't get into that routine and that figure eight where it's just like there's no way to judge. They all can't be winners, right? So I feel that that's kind of the energy in you right now, is trying to find, not that what you're doing is just so absolutely perfect, but you're trying to always be looking at the last thing you did and thinking, okay, how can I do it better this time around? And it's really a way of you distilling life into wisdom. Yeah, into wisdom. And so I think that this week you're approaching your work, whatever you're burning calories doing, whether it's the car engine or the Michelin star meal that you're cooking or whatever it could be. You're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be the best of the best. This is going to be better than the last one. This is going to be closer to perfection. Yeah. And of course, that Nine of Wands underneath everything is really that strength that you feel, the drive, like what's fueling all of this? Why do you feel so passionately about this? Why do you wake up and this is what you want to do with your life? Well, I think this lunar connection as well, sun and moon conjoined, you have a connection with spirit. You are the divine intervention, right? You have such a strong connection with spirit that you know your purpose and like this is what I'm meant to do. And I'm meant to, to try to perfect this art. Maybe you're fixing car engines. It's an art. There's a technical side of art as well as the aesthetic side of art. And I think you're always trying to do better. You're always trying to get a little bit deeper to what is really important to you, but then also technically, what is really, going to be the best. And I think because you know that this is your destiny, you know that you're on the right path in life, that you want to do the hard work. You want to come home at night covered in grease and tired and sore, and you got bumps and scrapes, and you burned yourself on the manifold or something, and it feels good to then get in the shower and scrub all that off and get ready for the next day. If you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life, right? Because it's fun, because you like it. Yeah, it's frustrating. Some days you can't figure out what the heck is wrong with the stupid carburetor, but, you'll figure you couldn't imagine doing anything else because you have that connection with your sense of purpose and you feel like this is where you belong. Okay? Now, the Prince of Pentacles, we talked about the horizontal flow, you know. The Prince of Pentacles is a Taurus-style energy, the one that shows up every day. This is a strong work ethic. This is saying, every day I'm getting up, I'm getting in the studio. I'm getting in the garage. I'm getting in my, my practice room or the kitchen or, wherever it is. Maybe it's the classroom, right? It could be all sorts of things. But it's consistent. And consistency is key, right? But it's not just sort of blind consistency. I could show up every day and do the same thing over and over again for my entire life, and it won't make a lick of difference to anything or anybody or myself. It has to be combined with your ability to reflect on the work you're doing. You know, you could train a monkey to show up every day and do the thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Without the reflection, and without the ability not only to reflect on how we can do it better, but just to reflect on the significance of it. To be able to, at the end of the night, to lie in bed and reflect upon, like, how lucky we are to do what we love to do. Or to reflect upon how satisfying it is, even if we're struggling. Even if we are so often confronted with a 5 of Pentacles and we can't figure out the problem. We don't know why the carburetor's not working. That sort of effort, this whole process is so satisfying. The 3 of Cups is up above everything because this is joy for you. This is the hard work for you. You know, I know a lot of grease monkeys in my family. You know, my dad, my uncles, and things. They love to work on old Mustangs. You know, when I was a kid, our garage was, our driveway was just kind of, it was crowded with, Mustang bodies and frames and, engines being pulled out and parts everywhere and sparks flying. And as a kid, I just thought it was fascinating. We'd go to like these junkyards and we'd have to try to find parts and stuff. And it was, it's a labor of love, And I didn't quite get so much into it, though my brother was older at the time, so he kind of was taken under my dad's wing a little bit and taught more than I was. I was more little at the time, but I still have fond memories of that, And it was it's a labor of love, and that may not be sort of what you do for money. It may not be your central job or what you do for money or whatever, but this is what consumes you in your life. This is what you're really meant to do, And there's an intense satisfaction and a joy with it. This 3 of Cups, And it really, these 2 cards, a labor of love. Even when there's a 5 of Pentacles, even when we feel like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this one. And, I don't know if there's a problem here that I'm not sure I'm going to solve, right? But this is sort of where the joy really lies, in trying to figure out those things. The joy doesn't really lie in the finished product, right? The joy lies, I think, a little bit in how we are able to reflect on the work and we're able to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and sort of physically, through the process. But I think the real joy is in the moment, doing the work, applying ourselves to fixing the problem. Okay. And it's kind of, if we look at this from the health perspective too, it's the similar thing, that the joy is not so much in the ideal, the goal that I have, but the joy is in the moment where I'm eating healthy, the moment where I'm doing the exercise, I'm riding on the recumbent bike, or I'm doing the row machine. That's where the joy really is. It's in the stress of it. It's in the moment, right? Yeah, it's very nice to have a goal in mind and to think I'm getting closer to getting to that goal. But the central thing really is the activity itself, the fact that we are involved in the process of change, that we are doing something that's through our action, we're changing something. I mean, that's fascinating magic, right? That this through my intention and through my putting my hands on something, myself, the row machine, right, or the engine of the car, or the food, the raw ingredients, that I'm actually manipulating something and molding something and constructing something and changing something. And I think that's where your pleasure really lies. It's in the act of creation, right? Not in the created, but in the act of it. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, your general energy, we're going to move over to the path of the serpent now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel, and I appreciate that. I really do. Your general energy is this Ten of Pentacles. Now, this seems like the finished product. It seems like this is the goal, the destination. And it is, yeah, but this is more about you feeling like you're a wealthy person, you know. This is you feeling as if your life is rich and full of flavor. Yeah. It's sort of a satisfaction to me, it feels like, at the end of the day, you know, that we've worked hard and we spent the day doing our magic. Yeah. And that we're responsible for causing some sort of change in the world, in our environment, in our personal lives, in our bodies, hearts and minds, in the lives of other people. We fix their car or whatever, you know, serve them a great meal. Yeah. And so I think that through this process, round and round it goes, we get a little bit closer to perfection. You know, we'll never get there, and we don't care about getting there. But it's just the idea that every time we go round, we're changing ourselves to a little bit more. It's an alchemical process. We feel like we are the creator, creating things out of these raw ingredients, but the process itself is changing us. It's creating us. And so that's kind of it's like a symbiotic magic, you know. So the Ten of Pentacles, I think you really truly are a wealthy person. I think you have a great perspective on life. I think that you are a creator. I think that you have a very strong support system in your life too. I think that you have really wonderful relationships, and I think that you're very well liked and you're loved. And I think that you're creating something. And you are being created at the same time. Yeah. Now, the Three of Pentacles in the environment is kind of that thing too. This is the idea of work. And you're not someone who's afraid of work, you know. You're somebody that I think appreciates a challenge. Yeah. You're somebody that tries to learn from every challenge. And you're trying to, like, if you have a medical issue, you don't just sort of like go to the doctor and just say, hey, fix it, doc. You know, no, you want to really be there and you're asking questions and you're trying to learn and you're researching, you're getting some books, watching some YouTube videos, and you're asking questions, you're trying to learn, trying to educate yourself, trying to grow in the knowledge and the understanding of what is going on, right? So you do the aesthetic side and the sort of the technical side. If you're a chef, you know, you may be very good at just sort of intuitively grabbing ingredients and mixing stuff together and creating something nice, but you want to know why it works. Why does the bread rise? You know, what exactly is an emulsification? You know, maybe you're even doing like that molecular gastronomy or something like this. You're fixing engines. You want to know why they work the way they do. It's not just a recipe that says, okay, you know, you've just got to change the spark plugs out and adjust the timing and that's it. Yeah, but why? What do those things mean? How does that system work together? You're trying to really broaden your understanding, you know. So the Three of Pentacles is not just work and our effort doing the work, but sort of understanding the work, understanding how things work. Yeah. Now, we get into the rest of the water energy. The Four of Cups is the obstacle. The obstacle is this feeling of stagnation, the feeling like, you know, there's only so much we can learn and know and understand about the work that we're doing. Well, maybe that's not quite true. Maybe there is really no limit to what you can, no limit to how you can grow. Right. Now, there will always be routine. This is always the river we're going to have to cross. And it's a river of boredom, honestly. It's the bored river, right? And And that sometimes, is that stagnation, the feeling like, okay, I've been through this cycle a bunch of times now, but I don't feel like I'm really growing or learning, and nothing's really changed, and I feel like I'm putting out the same dish every time, and it's kind of like, we're starting to feel a little bit, maybe a little bit off our game, perhaps, or, there are going to be days where we're just not as excited about things as we were, right? And maybe those are some hints that we need to kind of fall back on our 9 of Wands and think, okay, well, maybe I really just need a rest. I need a new perspective. Maybe I need to find something a little bit different, or at least new or novel, that can inspire me again. It's kind of the way a chef, when they feel like they're stagnating, what do? Well, they travel somewhere, some international place, and they sample some new cuisine that they never had before, or that they're not too familiar with, and they get inspired. Or they go to a restaurant or one of their famous chef friends, and they're inspired by the food that they're doing over there at wherever, right? French Laundry or Nobu or whatever. I think the French Laundry closed, though, didn't it? Anyway. So it's a way of us recognizing that, okay, we need a little inspiration right now. We've got to keep things going. We want to get the fire back, because it happens to all of us that we get into a little bit of a rut, and it's not that bad, right? But the 7 of Cups is a little bit different, because the 7 of Cups now feels like, I'm miserable. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this work at all anymore. So I think in this case we have to do something here before it progresses to that stage. Okay. We also, in this process of creation, we have to know when to leave something alone, because we may spoil the whole project, and I think sometimes we have to do that. If you don't ever take things too far, you'll never know when things are far enough. You see what I mean? So you're making this dish, and you keep tinkering with it, and you keep changing things, or you keep adding things to it. Eventually, I've ruined it. It's good. It's good. Ruin as many things as you can, right? Because then you know how to sort of say, okay, I'm getting to the limit now. I better stop. I want to stop when things are perfect. I want to stop when things are just perfectly abundant and joyful. This is the sweet spot, right? Like I said, we're creating a 6. The 6 is the sweet spot. We've got to know what is too much if we're ever going to know what is perfectly enough, right? And I think that's a big message of that 7, right? That 7 of Cups. Well, let's look at our mystery card. Let's see what flavor this adds to things. If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments down below. I don't know what it's going to be. I think maybe, well, the Empress, right? Going to go from the Princess of Pentacles to the Empress card. I think it could be a 6 of Cups. I don't know, maybe another major arcana. But maybe Wheel of Fortune. All sorts of possibilities, right? Let's just see what we have. Well, it's the 8, right? The 8 of Pentacles. Because we were talking about this, right, as being like just monotony. It's just routine. It's just day after day, cooking the same thing, same dishes, the same way. I'm repairing the same problems, same engine, same oil changes over and over and over again. There's no innovation. There's no growth. There's nothing. It's sort of, we feel like we're just living a Groundhog's Day, right? And so this is when we sort of get that little tickle and we feel like, I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm feeling a little inspired. And maybe we're going to go a little bit too far and we're going to get that 7 of Cups, but that's okay. All right, because now we know kind of we push the limit a little bit. Sometimes you got to push the envelope. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the 8 of Pentacles. In fact, this is one of the best cards ever. It's a card of patience. It is the card of prudence. It is the card of routine. It's the card of just, I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to quit way before I get to the red line, way before I get to excessive. Sometimes we got to go to the extreme so we know kind of what the safe and prudent route is. So, I think this is good. I think within the routine, we find a lot of a lot of value, a lot of opportunity for growth and reflection. Sometimes we have to push the boundaries of things a little bit so that we can gauge where the boundaries are, and so that we can consistently be making progress, and we can be consistently growing, right? This is a business that is very cautious, very steady. Let's just do the thing in a routine way. Let's follow procedure. Let's follow process day after day after day. Okay? It's good. Safe. We want to grow a little bit. Then every once in a while, we got to push a little bit further, you know. And that's how I think we keep this very passionate. We keep this alive. We keep it growing. Yeah. And we keep ourselves growing too, because it is that symbiotic magic, right? I think this is going to be a very good week for you. And we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio. Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.